Hey, welcome back to Quick Looks with the Casual Hour. My name is Bobby. Joining me as always, Chase, the gamer on the go, friend extraordinaire, who's going to go to space with me and sing in a Corvus.
I love singing in the Corvus. Bobby, were you ever in a choir? Did you ever
I was.
Sing? Yeah? How'd that go?
I was.
Is that, when was that? Was that like
I would say from elementary, I think it was like grades 2 to 5.
Yeah.
And then my voice changed. Yeah, but I was a singer.
Yeah.
And today we'll be singing in a little space combat. What can you tell me about Chorus?
Man, that title's really got you, doesn't it? Yeah, I can tell you a little bit about Chorus. This was developed by Fishlabs, which we've talked about on our podcast, The Casual Hour. That these guys, they've made a bunch of iOS and Android, and most recently a couple of Nintendo Switch ports of Saints Row the Third and Saints Row 4.
Okay.
But this game looks much more ambitious than anything they've done before, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
It's published by Deep Silver. It's on PC, Xbox, PS4, PS5, and it seems like it costs about $40 right now.
That's awesome, man. I think I got us at a pretty good point here, so we're gonna hop into it, and I'll start to talk through it. I know that you and I have talked about obviously some other game that I like quite a bit, and this game has some similar DNA to a little title called Everspace 2.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing maybe a little resemblance.
Just for anybody who's tuning in, I'm about, I don't know, 9 hours, I think, maybe more into the game. So there is going to be some spoilers that you'll see. So if you want to check out the story, which I think the story's fine. I think it's got some interesting beats to it. I like the voice acting quite a bit, and the talking heads you get here seem to be really well. There's a Knight Rider vibe going on here. That's Forsaken speaking right now, and you are Nara. So Nara and Forsaken are out here doing all kinds of work, and
they're both in the ship. Nara and Forsaken, like two people.
Yep. No, so Forsaken is the ship.
Ah, that's the Knight Rider thing. That's your kit.
Yeah, that's our kit.
Okay,
so
got it.
You learn a little bit about how that comes to be, which is interesting. Like I did enjoy that element of the story quite a bit. But there's some really cool things that this game does on its own that I think make it stand apart from maybe like an Everspace or some other space shooters that you would see there. So let's go over just a few things that you can see in the bottom left and bottom right of the screen before we hop into some potential combat. I've got 3 weapon types in the games that it will make you bounce between depending on what kind of enemy you're facing. So I just switched over to a laser, and you can see that shoots like that, and I've upgraded it quite a bit. It'll let you know visually that it's charged up, as you can see, and I think that this looks really cool on your ship as it pops out. The main weapon, so to speak, is a Gatling, and I've got a real slow, chuggy, just heavy damage burst fire Gatling gun. So it does those shots, and I have to pull the trigger again. Pretty cool, and you can see that overheats, so it doesn't have an ammunition. But going up, I really like the way
the crosshair spins when you shoot. That's a nice touch. That's a fun touch.
Yeah, man. And then you have a missile system, and that one's really cool too. Then you get into the abilities that your character Nara has. So she has what's called rights, and there's Nara. So I've gotten 4 of the 6 unlocked, and there are fragments that you can get that will empower those further. So in the game, you might find new things that will unlock those and give you a little bit more into them. So we've got a sense, which is more of like a radar. This drift trance is awesome. So your ship has this whole drift mode that you're using your powers to
in space.
Yeah, man. So then I can hold this down, come right into it, and do some pretty slick drifting with it.
Okay.
The other thing from a movement standpoint, if I just press left on my control stick, or right, you do a really cool barrel roll. And
It's actually an aileron roll, Bobby, but
Oh,
that's okay.
damn it.
Star Fox has ruined all of us. I get it.
The way that radar works, if I just tap A on the controller, that's going to show me any resources, so it's a really quick burst. But if I hold it down and let it charge up for a second, that's how I ping potential activities. So now I've got all these around here, and those white question marks are going to be our side quests that we can go and find. The yellow that you see on the screen is our mainline quest. There's a pretty big map, and we're in one system, so there's some jump gates that you can jump around to. But that's what we're looking at here.
How
you
much?
Check your missions.
So how much? Can you go back to that map real quick? Like, how much verticality is here? Like, you're in a 3D space, but like this stuff is all looking, relatively flat. Like it's all relatively on the same plane.
Yeah, I think that's how it is.
Okay.
So it's got some really cool universe or skybox. I don't know what we're going to call this.
Yeah, not too much a skybox when it's space, right?
Right. So most of it, and they do a pretty good job of keeping your line of sight. You can see all these things are spread out pretty vast. Mm-hmm. And do you see those? We'll get to it here in a second. There's like those blue lights going across, like that on that line. Mm-hmm. That's like a space highway. So once you get into it, it overdrives your engine, and you can get across this area pretty quickly.
Okay.
But that's what you're looking at. Like they just spread it out, and everything kind of stays on that plane, so I can move through it and get there to what we need to.
Someone watched Cowboy Bebop, is what I'm hearing.
Ooh. Faceless Forces. Let's go see if we can shoot some shit. That seems like the right thing to look for.
I love Faceless Forces.
I think that's what this is going to be. Oh, there they are. So, I can't pause it there, but you can see that they have this blue bar, which is their shield, and the red bar is going to be their hold that we need to take out.
Okay. Okay. I was going to say, are these guys bad? And now I've got my answer.
Yeah, you've got your answer. So I want to get around them, and I need to be focusing on using...
Are they putting out like mines or something? Like, what are
these are minefields that they're dropping for us to navigate through. And so we want to do our best to do that, but I need to get behind this one, so I'm going to teleport behind him, chase like that, and then blast his ass.
You started blasting.
I did. So I'm trying to drift around some of these beams. Oop. Come here, you.
So lasers you want to be using against shields, like this is kind of Halo-like. You lasers to break shields, or energy weapons to break shields, and then like ballistic weapons to break armor,
got it.
I guess. Cool.
So I can shoot the mines down if I need to. These guys also use, it's like that one, oh shit, this guy's messing me up.
Uh-oh.
What was that one group in Destiny that would put those pillars down or whatever that would then shield everyone? You know what I'm talking about? The, it's not the Fallen, but like the Fallen.
The Scorn.
The Scorn, and they'd put like that fire totem looking thing down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what these dudes will do.
Okay.
So,
all right, that's it.
So that was a little encounter.
Do we know what their deal is, what their story is, why they're pissed off?
Yeah. So that faceless group came out of that thing over there.
Oh. Okay.
And that was at the heart. So that was a really cool thing. To get into it, your ship was getting attacked by that lightning storm. Mm-hmm. And that lightning storm would, like, basically, you could not get into it because of it. But your ship's like, hey, I was created near here. There's a wormhole we can go into. You do that, and you get the ability now that lightning overcharges my right ability. So you see those 4 bars in the bottom right-hand corner next to the symbol?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's my right, so if I use anything on it, it'll recharge, but I only have so much I can use. And when I get hit by those lightning clouds now, it stacks that up to where I can do even more damage, which is really cool. Because
Can you fly over there?
I think we can. No, I don't know if I'll be able to get into it or not. We can try to here.
Okay.
I'll ping this
But
while
like
we're going.
that's not part of a skybox. That's in the world.
It is both.
Okay.
So there was both parts of it were there. So I don't know if I can get to it without going through the wormhole, which I think is around here somewhere.
Okay, well, don't worry about it. Don't change your quick look on my account.
Oh, that's okay. So sometimes you'll have these random things where they just show back up in the world when you're not looking for them. Because we were heading over to this outpost.
Are the Faceless the only enemies in this game, or are you fighting multiple different factions, or what's going on?
You are part of another faction. So Nara herself was actually part of the enemy faction called the Circle, which are some zealots that are just crazy into like doctrine, and she'll like call it out. She's like, oh, they're using the A doctrine or B doctrine or whatever the fuck they would call it. And so she knows what it is, and like they know who you are, and there's like they just hate you because you've abandoned your beliefs to them, and you are now supporting helping all the communities that you once ravaged and destroyed. I mean, like you literally have ripped apart a planet, and it caused you to have a bit of a crisis in your life where you had to reevaluate like what you were doing, and because of that, you're now helping support those communities, and they just hate it. So they come in. Now the Faceless is fighting us, as you can see, and they've got, I don't know quite why they're so pissed off at the world.
Because they have no faces.
We've got no faces, and now we've got two different types of people or groups or aliens that we're fighting.
Okay.
And it's been a lot, because I don't get a whole lot of help from those people that we're trying to save. Like,
No,
hey, please help us get our convoys back together. Great, now you can go shoot shit with me. No, we're gonna go back to where it's safe, and we'll see you when you get there. So have fun.
What else are you doing in this game? So there's some combat. Like, are you?
All right, that's it.
Oh
yeah.
What's that? What's electroplating?
Make good use of this.
So there's a few things to look at when you upgrade your ship. As I talked about, you get your structure, the Gatling, your laser, and your missile, and within each one of these, you have different variants. It does use the color coding for, you know, uncommon, rare, epic, beyond.
Oh, so there's some loot in this game.
There is some loot. You're not. Yes, there's loot. There's upgrades that you can buy at stores. I haven't been to a ton of stores, but you can buy more of these. You have a credit system. You're getting credits all the time in this game. I haven't seen an ability to sell things back, but there are things you can do there. Modifications are what you just saw us pick up. You have 3 slots for that, and all these modifications are broken down into 2 different categories. So you've got defensive, weapons, and powers, and utility. So over on the right, you can see a real-time readout on what's going on with this. So these crystal reactors, and then the crystal capacitor, there's a symbol to the left of the number. So the number is the rating, the color is the rarity, and the symbol is the cluster that it will impact. And so this is the exalted path. So if you look on the right, if I have 2 of these items equipped, we're going to get a buff.
It's got set bonuses.
For that right.
Okay.
Yeah. So you start to see that stuff come into play when you're making a build for how you want to play the game. And we just grabbed electroplating, which takes our hull up by 200 points. So I have the level 1 here. This is a level 3. There's no other bonuses with this one. You can see that doesn't have a set bonus indicator next to it. But yeah, that's what these are.
Okay.
And you can have 3 of those equipped. And I think that's a neat thing to tinker with. The other piece that you saw us pick up, there's these fragments. And once you get 3 of the fragment, it becomes a whole and gives you a boost.
Okay. Now, I don't want to just keep making the Everspace comparison, but they just do feel like such similar games on the surface. Everspace does a lot of stuff with loot too, right?
It does, and Everspace to me feels a lot more pen and paper, if that makes sense. Like it has, I think, a lot more traditional elements that you would expect from like a pretty hardcore RPG. Like this feels more action arcade with some of those elements baked into it.
Everspace,
this is way
you can
more
like
linear.
build a whole ship, and like there are different ship types and things like that, right?
Yeah, so you get a ship type in that, and they have classes. So you might have a ranger, you might have a heavy or a warlock, and then there's like paint customization. You're unlocking more of the livery stuff for that.
Got it. You had it right.
Livery, sorry. And there's also things you can swap out. Like I like the wing style of this ship, so I'm gonna bring that over to my ship, and then you can.
So
you have like, all these slots. Yeah, it's a lot more of a traditional
this
RPG
one's a
than what
little bit more set, but it's also telling a more focused story. You can't switch ships because if you switch ships, like you have a ship AI, you can't do that, right? So that makes some sense.
And I think that this, like Everspace, for the most part, kind of just throws you in the galaxy and says go. This one still keeps things pretty on the rails. I'm just going to drive into this or fly into this mission and see what happens, and then probably wrap it up.
Okay, how much time would you say you've put into this game so far?
Nara, come
Probably
in.
about 9 hours.
Recruitment is
I
going
think
great.
maybe a little bit more.
How long to beat kind of pegs us around 15 to 17 hours, so it's sizable. It's a decent chunk.
Why?
Yeah, I feel like I'm making some pretty good progress. I got to call out again. I know we talked about it at the beginning, but I think that this game is just gorgeous. It's one of the best looking games I've played this year. I really like their design that they've done, and I think they've done some really cool shit
Nara out.
with this.
They probably are.
And you're playing this game. You're playing this on PC. It's also apparently on Stadia, whatever that is. But you're one of the things. I don't know if you mentioned this before on the quick look, but like this game was, even though you're playing it on PC, this game was designed to work on a controller.
Yeah, it's like it feels so good on the controller. And as I was saying earlier, with the like way that they've mapped things out, like this is easily some of the best feeling flying I've experienced in a game.
Look how maneuverable you are going through indoor spaces.
Well, the drifting is just so damn good in this game, man. Like it changes the game completely. Because I can just hold that and I'll come back up and I'm like shooting in that area if I want to.
Yeah, you kind of
so it's
moving like a ship shouldn't be able to move, but it's very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I talked about it on our podcast. Like you just absolutely feel not like that, but you,
there's
you
the pro
feel
moves.
like such a. There's the pro moves. You feel like a pretty big badass when you pull things off, and I just can't say enough good things about how they've executed on that. Like I think it's, oh man, this is not going to be a fun thing to do in a quick look. So these crystals require a timed breakdown.
Oh.
And they also are dependent upon, because I don't have any of those clouds around here. Oh, there's a cloud up here, I think. So yeah, you see how I just grabbed that flourish that came over, and I've got that charge on my cockpit right now. And you see I have those 2 extra purple pips that just went away. All right, so the ability to break these down is held by when you press X. So I can shoot lightning back out of my ship, which is, normal. But that charges down quickly for me. So if I have these, it overcharges that, and then I can hit these in a way that's much faster. But there's usually, I got to figure out where the clusters are at, and I can ping those, and so I can see, all right, I've got all those white triangles now that I have to take out to get this ship free. So this one has 2 or 3 of them. So I think what we could probably do is come over here and see about that location. All right, yeah. So that's where that one is. We'll shoot this one and get that. And now that ship is free.
Oh, okay.
Nara will free us.
So I was able to get those crystals taken care of in a fast way.
Reinforcements incoming. Get
Oh
out.
man.
How about some cover fire?
These things are, so sometimes we'll have these big ass ships show up. I know we're gonna wrap this quick look up. I'll show you a little bit.
Are you
That you need to come in and take this out.
are you actually taking out the big ship, or
Oh yeah.
do you ever
There's,
do any like I guess it's not exactly Star Fox thing, but like, are you ever like going into the ship, exploding a bunch of shit, and then getting out of it?
Taking out the core. Yep. On the big ships you are.
It's more like
It's
Star
really
Wars
cool.
Death Star kind of stuff.
Yeah, totally. So you'll go into it. It's like, okay, you've shown off where the core is for this ship. You can now take that out. and that makes it pretty fun when you're in there doing that. This thing's gonna keep pumping these out, so we got to figure out the fastest way to get in here and try and take that out.
How much penalty is there for like bumping into walls and shit like that?
So over in the upper right hand corner, you'll see my shield will go down when I do that, and that's a problem when I get into something like this. Ooh, ow. That
Okay,
one hurt.
yeah, that did take out a bit of shield. Oh,
there we go.
Wow, okay. There you go.
So we got rid of that one. That's going to get rid of these. And that's how this mission structure is going to fall. So another one's going to pop up like that. And you're going to keep having these show up, pumping out these ships. But I think this is probably an okay spot to start to wrap things up as I'm shooting stuff here. We play games like this all the time, man. I play on Friday nights, Monday nights, over on twitch.tv/casualhour. We record our podcast Wednesdays at 10:30 p.m. and post that Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Central. I really dig a lot about this game. It was one that I knew I would probably enjoy, but it has exceeded my level of enjoyment quite a bit. It's not a perfect game. As I mentioned, I think the story is kind of the weakest part of it so far, but playing this game just feels so good. And I really like the upgrades, and I really like what you're able to do when it comes to maneuvering the ship around. So
definitely. And I know you're a big Everspace 2 fan. That game is still in early access. It's not quite out yet. That should come out sometime in 2022. But until then, this seems like a great table setter. Like if you need that experience and want something finished and polished, it looks like this might be your ticket.
Yeah, there's a lot to love about this game, and it's, as you mentioned, a really great way to just get things going. So, beautiful game too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just gorgeous. All right, man. Well, this has been Chrous. Chase, thanks for hanging out, and tune in later on here on youtube.com/casualhour for more quick looks.